or there's like there's two, and that's it. And one that's been at one of the title companies forever, and she's really good, just went to the other title company. So sorry, that just shocked me.
I saw your face and I was like, "Oh, you want to say something real quick?" But I just wanted to make sure you knew we were live. We're live. So welcome back, everyone. It is Friday. I got my regular Friday guest. I got Emily back on. So how's everything going? Sounds like you're busy right now.
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good too. Yeah, yesterday I was telling you about the live stream I did with Lumberjack and Dion. It was very fun and entertaining. So it is available on my channel, Dion's channel, and Zuber will probably upload it onto his once he's back from his trip or whatnot, or whoever he has working for him. But it's rare that Emily sends me a clip of something she may want to talk about or dig into. So she did send me one yesterday. So I want to put it on the screen and we'll dig into this, but it's kind of talking about comfort and opportunities out there, right? So let me see which one is it? It is, where did it go? Oh, here we go.
Wasted time. I made a wrong decision. I married the wrong person. I picked the wrong job. I moved to the wrong city. How about not believing that? How about believing it was just part of your fucking story? You think any book that's interesting doesn't have the chapters where there's adversity, there's conflict? You ever watch a fucking movie? They get you all juiced up and, uh-oh, here comes the fucked up part, but good news, here comes the fucking fixed part. Everybody's obsessed with like, I wasted time. Everyone's wasted time always, forever and ever. This concept that we've fucked up fucks me up. I think the reverse. I have things that are obviously a waste of time. And I look at it as like, I'm glad I did that shit. I went through the process. I'm living fucking life. I'm a fucking human being. I'm living. I'm fucking learning. It's fucking life. You think anybody goes to fucking heaven and played it 100% correct? Who the fuck played it 100% correct?
All right, so let's dig into that one. What caught your attention on that one?
Yeah, I think a couple things. Some people are so worried to act because they are worried to do the wrong thing. And I think sometimes I feel that way. Like that spoke to me. Do you ever see people post something or share something and you're like, oh, who are they mad at? Like, who are they aiming it at? Sometimes I'll post things and people are like, what's going on? And I was like, no, that's it myself, And so I have noticed because when you first start, you can only do a little bit. And so you're like, oh, I can buy this investment, I can get this property. And sometimes you're worried to do something because it will limit something else. And so one thing I've noticed the last year, like we have a house right now that we have on the market that will, if we can sell it, we'll sell it and it will be a flip. And if we can't sell it, it will be a rental. And either are fine. Either, make money, rental cash flows. I can always pull money out of it. But you worry, what if I do the wrong thing? And I keep talking to Dallas and he's like, either's fine. Like you make money either way. It's just a different strategy and the market's going to dictate. And I think we worry and we dwell so much. And then the other thing I think that's important is like, you're also living your life. For years, I kind of acted like I have to work and make money and get to this point, and then I'll enjoy myself. And then we'll do this, and that. And not thinking about, as we're on this journey, you're also living your life and your family's living their life. And so if you have kids, your kids are growing up. If you have a partner, you're years into your relationship. And I think one thing I have to constantly remind myself of is, me and Dallas have been married for around 13 years. I don't get to say like, hey, put everything you want in life on hold. And at year 20, like we can really enjoy ourselves. Like I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, or he could get hit by a bus tomorrow. And so we're on this journey, but we're also like living our life as we pass through this journey.
Great. I want to just give Brady a shout out. He makes a great point in the chat. So I think Zuber is still live streaming with his daily financial right now. But Brady said there's no point in watching it live. You can always watch the replay. Because he's not really interacting with the chat. So at least over here, there's some interaction. So it's a great point, Brady. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, that clip. And the funny thing is, when you asked me if we had a topic for today, I was just about to send you the one I was thinking about. And I think they kind of relate, right? They're kind of very similar. But let me just play the one also that I was thinking about, but it's very similar to what Emily sent me. So hold on, here it is.
Let me try it.
Oh, wrong one. Oh no.
The only consequence is failure. By the way, not trying is failing. I want to make that very clear.
Well said, yeah.
Not trying is failing. There's a lot of things that people can't do simply because you've never tried to do it.
Yeah, so it was funny. Like I said, Emily messaged me, said we have a topic. I said, yeah, this is what I want to talk about. And I think at the same time we sent each other the clips, and I think they relate very well and are very similar. And I think the one thing from the Gary V one was kind of, I really took away the part about, we look back a lot of times about maybe things we would have done differently or part of the journey, but and that's to his point, right? It is just part of the journey, right? That's you're where you're at because of decisions you made, and yeah, you can learn from it. But at the same time, it's like it is what it is, and I'm at where I'm at now, and it's based on just part of this journey. So it's very important. I think that's the thing too, right? Like you're saying, a lot of people don't ever get started because they're just kind of worried about these what ifs, right? I mean, for you too. I mean, I'm sure getting into the contractor side and the builds, and we always talk about it, how you're very kind of unique in your space, right? Has that been a challenge too, like worrying about what everyone may think?
Not actually being in this space as far as being a contractor and doing construction, I never had a thought in my mind that I'm not going to do this, but to make the YouTube channel, I definitely did, because I didn't want to deal with the mean comments and the criticism. So it took a couple years for me to get comfortable enough to make the channel. But as far as work, it's funny, working in construction or being on a job site, I never cared. I remember going to bid jobs, and like especially older men would ask me, "Do you even have tools for this? Is your husband going to help you, sweetheart? Like, is your husband going to let you borrow his tools? What? Like, why would I be here bidding your job if my husband's going to let me borrow his tools?" But I just never, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't care, but I was worried about putting it online and the hate that would come there for sure when I started.
Brady has a great point. He says, as a mentor of mine always said, what gets in the way of a great life? A good life? He was right. Comfort destroys ambition. Yep. And I think that's kind of the both of those clips, that's kind of what it's talking about. And just want to bring up Hyder. Hyder's comment says, fail is first attempt in learning. Not trying is not failing, because there is no attempt. So he's wrong somewhat. So Hyder being a little technical there, but yes, but yeah, I think that is the biggest thing, right? We just have to somehow figure out a way to definitely get out of our comfort zone. And I think for some it's easier, but it is a challenge for a lot of people. So even, oh, it's perfect. Flavio tunes in, and Flavio is one who we're trying to push him to join us on Wednesdays to tell his story. What is that?
Do it, Flavio. Come on.
Exactly, right? I think so. So even to that point, right? We go out with a lot of these calls in school, we go on, and people are always not really sure what Flavio does, I guess, like, portfolio wise. And when he actually speaks and he talks about what he's doing, they're like, whoa, you have 10 rentals or something, right? They're just surprised, right? So I think getting out of your comfort zone, it is challenging, but I don't know, I feel like we're such a family that's why we try to make it comfortable on Wednesdays, and it's just a very relaxed atmosphere. Yep, Hyder says that's a great way to put it, Brady. All right, so we should have more people tuning in. The daily financial just ended, but let me what's something you wanted badly but never pursued because you were scared to fail?
Nothing. What about you?
Man, I think for me right now, if we're going to relate it towards real estate, is just, do I go bigger or do I want to get into a bigger space, right? So, single families, small multis is definitely where I'm at and comfortable with. So talking about comfort, but is something bigger the direction I want to head into, right? So, yeah, it's definitely that. I think that's kind of for me the comfort of, do I want to get out of my comfort zone, and maybe someone should push me to do it. Maybe, I don't know.
What would be the next step if you're comfortable with a small multifamily? What are you exploring that you're maybe not sure about?
Probably something in the maybe I would say 10 to 20 unit space, right? Something along those lines, which I think would be good from a learning experience. And I think if people haven't seen, I mentioned it yesterday, so if they've seen the Three Amigos recent video, so Dion, Lumberjack, and Zuber, they broke down a David Green and Robuilt video talking about um, pyramid as far as building a real estate portfolio and why many people sometimes fail because they don't have a good base or foundation. And I think, for where I'm at now, I think going something bigger would be fine, where my base is built strong enough to where if going bigger didn't work out, then I would be okay. But I think that's the important part, right? You have to build a foundation first, and if you'd want to continue on. But yeah, for me, it's more. I don't even think it's even comfort. It's more if I just want the extra work.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I remember Vegas Marc telling me, I'm done. And then since then, you just are buying stuff still.
Did not do the finger snap or head
I'm like,
movement or
I'm done. Emily, you need to learn to
no,
live.
I didn't. No, no. Wait. Let me correct. I did not do that. I just said what was the end goal, right? Like what, and so it was, I did not say that at all. Here, you should screenshot that. We should screenshot this one. So Alex, the accidental investor, says, Emily, you're probably my favorite guest. I love your DIY videos.
I'm screenshotting it. I
All right.
Command Shift 4. Everyone knows how to math. Going on, Alex.
And Alex just closed on 2 duplexes on one lot, so like a quad, and he has some big plans for that. Hey, Gus is here. Gus also on his channel, a new episode of Behind the Doors just dropped this morning. I just saw that. Haven't had a chance to take a look at it, but definitely everyone go check that out. Harrison said, have I ever thought about buying a firehouse and renting it back to the city? No, not
They
at
probably
all.
don't do that, do they? They wouldn't sell it and rent it.
No, but we have no money, so no city has money to pay the fire. We're in a big, not big, I should say, but there's we're contract discussions. That's a big, putting our department in a very, what's the word? Can't think of it right now.
Curious.
No, just low morale. Like the mood and department, you can definitely tell the morale is not there. It's kind of divided too, and but yeah, very very unfortunate situation to be in right now. Let's see.
So
Yeah.
your limit is not, hey, I'm not scared, because you're pretty, like, we've talked about this even when you started investing. You're kind of like, it'll work out. It's just, is this something I want to do, and is this what I want to have in my life, or is this not what I want to add to it?
Yeah, most definitely. It's not so much fear, I guess. I know Zuber doesn't like to say he was lucky a lot of times, and he gets that's one of his trigger words. But I'll definitely probably say that I've been lucky. I don't, but I think it's taking action puts you in a position where luck will benefit you, right? So I definitely feel that I have been lucky, and I think part of it is just I think I'm always going to land on my feet. So for me, even if I did go bigger, it's more for me. It's not the fear side. It's more like just do I want to do it? And I think that's more where I was when we were talking in Vegas. It was kind of like it wasn't so much like do I want to go. It was just like do I want to keep doing this? And that's why I was just curious as to you, like what was the end goal? Because I see you go, right? But and I'll play that clip later. But definitely, yeah. So that you said there's nothing really that you haven't gone for that you feel it was fear, I guess.
I think what you said is really important about the foundation. And so if anyone's paying attention to the rumblings in the real estate world, and not necessarily the posts of the gurus, but the people that invested in funds, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, but I think the commercial world where people raised a lot of capital is crumbling a little bit. And there were all these people that did too much too fast, or too much too fast with other people's money, especially. And so I really love, we talk about, I think everyone here really resonates with Chad Carson and his doing it in a slow, careful, responsible way. And there were many years where I felt like I was behind because I was doing things in a slow, cautious way, but that was what I was comfortable with. I wasn't comfortable with like raising money. Like, I'll do a loan from somebody, I'll do a mortgage where they're the lien holder and I pay them just the mortgage, but I'm not raising capital from people. But my foundation has given me an opportunity to then invest or borrow against that to invest in other things. And so I maybe didn't do it as fast as I wanted to, but that was a choice that I made to make sure I was comfortable and safe and secure. But I never was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. It's just I'm doing it at a rate that I feel like is fiscally responsible. So I never just didn't do something because I was scared. If it made financial sense, there were things I didn't do because I felt like it was too much risk at a certain time, but I don't think that's fear. I think that's not being a jackass.
To that point, though, would you say that was also luck in a little bit in a way? Because you've touched on it before, like you weren't familiar with maybe some other lending products like DSCR, right? So it kind of kept you in the reins, right? Like you were only able to scale to a certain point, but if you knew about DSCR, you might have just been going crazy taking on all these projects, right? So do you feel like even like that, right? I would say that's somewhat lucky to some extent that maybe you weren't aware of these other type of lending products out there, because it kind of allowed you to build this base like you mentioned.
No, because those all would have been good buys. I think you got to know your personality. If you're somebody that's really open to risk, maybe you would have taken too much risk using DSCRs if they were available to you. But I am so cautious, and I know my market really, really good. And so when I would have been doing DSCRs when interest rates were good in my area, you can buy something now in cash flow. So I would have just bought a bunch then at a better interest rate. And so maybe I would sell some now to be able to invest in something bigger, but I'm very careful about what I buy. I'm buying really solid properties. I'm really evaluating carefully. So in my case, no. But if you were somebody that took on more risk, that was maybe a little bit more flippant with what you buy, then maybe. But I'm definitely more of a cautious leaning investor. So I still wouldn't have bought anything. It's just, I would say, what's the quote that you'll find the more effort you put in, the luckier you get. I think that if you throw more darts at the dartboard, you're gonna get lucky more often. And there's always these opportunities that you find, and everyone has their story of a different opportunity, right? Like I have a friend who has things the one town over, and they bought some apartments, and they bought a bunch of stuff in 1 year and seller financed it. You could say it's luck that they found something that someone was willing to seller finance, or you could say they built the relationships, they did the mailers, they were asking the community, and they put in the work, and then the opportunities came to them. So everyone kind of has these different opportunities because they're putting in the effort. Like maybe luck is part of it, or maybe it's just they put in 1,000 more reps than you did.
I agree with this comment by Flavio. I would like to see Emily on HGTV channel. Yeah. So on that point, I touched about it the other day. The couple in Hawaii that's on HGTV they're in some legal issues right now. It's been ongoing. It's been on and off. And I guess when you're on TV, right, everything's a little under a magnifying. So I believe they are not being sued, but it's been brought to the attention that they have like fines like 50K right now of illegal Airbnbs that they're running that they haven't paid, things like that. So and then the other year there was some permitting stuff that has come to light that they started work before permits are approved. But if people don't know, like Hawaii takes forever for permits, so a lot of times they were a lot of people do that. They start it before the permits are even approved. But so I'm not saying that's right, but there is a lot of people that do that because they're willing to pay that that difference, right? They said, oh, if I start now, I'm gonna have to pay this fine, but it allows me to get the project completed. So
It's an investment, not a fine.
yeah. Where was the other question I wanted to share? Oh, Flavio is asking, do you believe in interest-only payments for your mortgages?
So I have a couple right now like that. So basically, I have properties that I've had for many years that I have on not 30-year loans, like 15 and 20-year loans. So one, values have gone up. Two, they're just, towards the end. And I have a lot of equity on them, but I don't want to pay them off or refinance them because my interest rates are good. And so I, through my bank, can do I can do a line of credit that holds a placeholder on those mortgages. And then I can get an interest only loan to go buy a property that is not in financeable condition because it's so distressed you can't get a conventional loan. Well, I also can't get any more conventional loans because I have too many. So then I do interest only, and then I renovate the property, and then I either sell it or I can convert it. I can term it out to a 20-year commercial mortgage with my mortgage company. And at the end, we'll just decide based on the market, sell it or keep it. But while the renovation is going, it's interest only. And I have 2 of those right now, and I have 1 that I'm closing on today. So yeah, for a term, but not for long term.
Okay. I also know that you posted in school that you are having difficulty with insurance, I believe, right? So you want to touch on that a little bit before we go on?
So this is a little bit, I guess I never thought I would run into this. I'll actually do a full post about this because I got a lot of quotes from different companies just to kind of compare. So I started running into this a couple years ago. We bought a fourplex, and I had my local State Farm office. We used them for all of our stuff. We had a really great girl, and they took care of everything for us. Well, I went to buy a fourplex, and no one would call me back. And I was like, yeah, maybe, they're kind of gotten big. Maybe their customer service has kind of gone downhill. No one calls me back. No one calls me back. I have to keep calling them. And finally they tell me, well, this was built in 1985. It's more than 25 years old, which to me, that's pretty new. Like 1985, if you're after asbestos and lead-based paint and no grounded wiring, I'm happy. And so they're like, unless you replace all the utilities, we won't insure it. And I was like, it's got copper pipe, it's got Romex wiring with a ground. Like there's no reason to replace everything. Like, yeah, we won't do it. So I found another company, and sorry, I saw a really rude comment. So
yeah.
So I no, I can't. I'm blind to the hate. And so
I'll just show. I don't want to show it. I don't want to give them any.
No, don't. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, that's weird. So I found another insurance company that would insure it and whatever, move on. So then it's a while before I buy something else that's I can't remember. I go to buy another property, and finally they tell me, no, you have too many rentals. State Farm just put something in place that if you have more than 5 rentals or properties or something, they won't insure them for you. And it's because they have so many people that are slumlords that have a bunch of stuff and they're filing claims like crazy. So they just kind of did a blanket thing. And so I was like, okay, so I got to find somebody else. So then what did I buy next? I can't remember. I find a different company. The rates are kind of high. So fast forward to this week, I had put an offer on a house maybe a month ago, and I wanted to do 100. They wanted to be at 115. And I was like, I have so many projects going. I'm just not comfortable. Like, I know that's not that much money in the scheme of it, but because I have other projects going, I don't love being that high on it. And so I said, no, that's great. But if their deal falls apart, they found somebody I think that would give them what they wanted. Let me know if it falls apart, and maybe we can, try to meet in the middle. So I'm like, and I kept thinking about that house. I'm like, this is a good one. And Dallas is like, you should have tried 110. Like, maybe you could meet him in the middle. And I was like, he's like, you're going to give up a deal over $10,000. I'm like, if I didn't have other projects going, but because I do, I got to let it go. But I kept thinking about it because it was a solid house. And so the realtor called me on Saturday and said, hey, you told me to call you if the deal fell apart. Well, this house is to the studs. It's got no wiring. It's got I mean, they had a dishwasher. They bought it at a sheriff's auction. Then they had a dishwasher line leak and they demoed everything, which to me is awesome because I can see the foundation walls. I don't have to. But then when you go to get insurance, you're like, I am going to renovate it, but right now it's like this. Normal insurance companies, I feel like, struggle with that. So, but basically they're like, here's the deal. They still want to close. They were supposed to close today. They're like, they still want to close the same day. They want their money back. And I was like, well, I will if I can. Let me call my, my commercial banker on Monday. And so they were able to make it work. We are closing tomorrow. But so I had a very short amount of time to figure out my insurance. And so I call this local insurance broker who's done some stuff for some of our business stuff. And they get me this quote back. We're buying this house for $107,000. It is not a fancy house. And it's like, here's the condition. We just want a general policy until we can renovate it. And then we'll keep it as a rental and do landlord policy. They give me a quote for like $3,600, which my normal insurance on a house like that would be like $800, which maybe be higher because it's being renovated and then go down. So I was like, we're not doing that. So then I started looking online for some of the investor specific ones like Steadily and some of those guys. And actually I called yesterday and Steadily got me a policy all squared away within the day. It's $1,600 while we're going to renovate it because it's gutted and there's construction and all that. It's vacant. And I think they said probably like $1,100 after that. And I got some other quotes, but yeah, the local State Farm told me no. Farm Bureau told me no because the windows were small. I was like, well, I can add egress windows in the basement. No, we just won't. So we went through Steadily to just get it covered so we could close today and have insurance.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's because of where the uncertainty and the economy is now. It just seems like a lot of companies are nitpicking on things out there, whether it be insurance, appraisals. I believe Alex, who just closed, what was he talking about his transaction? Maybe it was more lender related, but even him, it's never gonna be smooth usually. I mean, just completely smooth, but it just seems that there's a lot more back and forth. And even like Val messaged me this morning, his appraisal came in soft a little bit on his refi that he was hoping for, but it seems like it's happening out there quite a bit. So Steadily did help you. That is Zuber's. They sponsor his daily financial news, so he's talked about how much they've saved him, but not for every policy. Like he said, he just checks it out, and if they can help, they help. Did you use Obi also that I sent you, or did you see that? So there's Steadily and Obi. There's another one.
I didn't see that, but I found them online. Yeah. And so I got Obi. I had reached out because I reached out to several. Steadily was the person who responded the quickest. And my thing was, I mean, God forbid something happens to this property right after it. I mean, if there's a fire or whatever, so I just wanted coverage at that point. And if I change it, I can change it. But Steadily was responsive right away. They did it immediately. I mean, it was very quick. They also just talking to a company that's investor specific, because if you guys have done this and bought an investment property and you talk to State Farm or Allstate, or they don't deal with this type of stuff, trying to explain, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's the condition. Here's what we're going to do. So I understand that policy has to shift. Normally it's like pulling teeth. They don't get what you're doing. And to talk to the questions they ask when you would explain the scenario, they had okay, if it's this, then this, and once this is done, let us know. It was just a completely different experience talking to a company that is catered to a real estate investor. So you could tell they knew what you were doing and they're covering it properly too.
Yeah. Let's see. Flavio said he switched insurance, saved him $3,000 a year. Flavio's asking Emily, how you commercial lendings work on those properties?
So I have a couple of options. I can either, I could just do a commercial loan on it for a term, but it's going to be worth more when I'm done. Because for instance, this house is gutted. It's to the studs. And so what I'm going to do is, and I would anticipate it would be worth the high 2s to low 3s when we're done. So I bought it for 107. I put 30% down. They will do the other 70%. They just put a lien on it. That's just 1 year interest only. And then when I'm done, I'll get an appraisal, and then I can term it to a 20-year at like 7.25% interest, or I can sell it. I mean, I don't know what my strategy will be then. And Or I can do like an arm, like a flexible arm where it's adjustable, but it's set for 5 years, but it's a better interest rate. There's a lot of different options, but right now it's just a construction loan. I put 30% down for a year, interest only.
Hey, Josh Burdick is here. He says insurance has gotten insane. Ours doubled in Florida, but has started to get more competitive recently. Bless you.
Sorry.
No.
Well, I think, I think
No,
Brady
no.
said something about using an insurance broker, and that's the one that got me the quote for it was like $3,400 or $3,600. It's a local company that is a broker. It's not just one company. So I used to use State Farm. I've tried Farm Bureau. I went to a broker, and they're the ones that got me the 34 or 36. And we're acting like it was a deal. They're like, the other policy was higher. We were able to figure this out. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think that's where like Steadily and Obi come into play. Just like you were mentioning, they're kind of more investor focused. So, even like you're saying, if you're doing a or construction or renovation, it's a little bit easier, I think, to have a conversation. But they kind of have an idea what you're doing or what you're working on, and it's not like speaking a foreign language to them, trying to explain what you're doing, right?
Well, yeah,
Uh,
even something
no.
as simple as one of the forms I filled out was, are there smoke detectors in the house? Well, no, there's no power, but there will be, and it will be rewired. So again, I just want a coverage policy of my money invested for now. And as we put more money into it, but then when it's done, it's going to be rewired, replumbed, new HVAC, right? But like, they're like, there's no smoke detectors in the house. There's nothing, Linda. Like, what can I,
Flavio makes great comments, but I don't know if he realizes that sometimes when you see the comments, it's not sure how you would take it. But like the other day on Wednesday, he made a comment, which I know he meant it in the right, but he put in the comments to the guest that you have like a great voice for radio or something like that. But Flavio is saying Emily will be great if you speak on both days in Vegas. You have too much to talk about.
I'm a
So I
yapper.
know he means it in a good way, but if someone was to see it, they're probably like, is he saying you talk too much?
Everyone says I talk too much. Well, and as a kid, I did.
Yeah. So, I also, so this is kind of, like I said, I see you busy on social media all the time, right? You're doing a lot of things. I'll put your channels also in the chat since we're hoping to get you to 20,000 before the Vegas event. But do you think most people stay busy so they never have to take real risk?
I don't know.
Is that why you're busy? No.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm probably like 4 times busier than I am. Like when I stop posting is when I'm more busier. Like I was thinking about that. I kind of have a lull on my YouTube channels and even my Instagram. I hadn't posted for a little while. And I'm trying to make the time. Like last night I was at a house till 10:30. So I'm trying to sub things out and scale. But so I posted on my Instagram. I have one guy that did a bathroom for me on one house. I have another guy because I'm trying to kind of have rotating crews. So I have another guy doing 2 bathrooms on another property, but I had to do my first bathroom. That guy will do everything. I said, I want to open the door and have it be done. And he plumbed it. He did the drywall. He's kind of like,
Wait, hold that thought. Hold that thought. So I don't know how you knew that, but so this is the most popular person on social media right now. So watch this clip, everyone.
this is my year of scaling and not doing everything myself. So this is the first control I have ever released. I did not do a thing in this bathroom. But the cool thing is while this bathroom was being done, I was working on another house, so we're making double progress. It's hard to let go of control.
So we didn't plan this, but I think that's kind of what Emily was talking about just now, right? So you seem to be giving up a little bit of control on your projects, and how has that been going? And like you were just gonna, before I stopped you from going on.
It's hard when you have my personality, but I can't. A couple years ago, I told my husband, I want to work hard and I'm willing to work hard, but I'm not making enough money for how hard I'm working. And so I have to find a way to work more efficiently. Like people always say, it's not the hardest worker that wins, right? So if you can work hard and smart, then that's where you're going to succeed. And so I have to get over myself. And so Yeah, I've never let someone tile something. Tile's a really hard one for me to let go. I told that guy, he's done a few things for me. I said, I want to open this door and have this bathroom be done. Besides, there's like a little cabinet I want to redo the handles and stuff on. And so he did the plumbing, he did the drywall, he did the tile. And then I have another house where the guy's just doing the tile. So I have to get the plumbing done for him. But I'm going to a conference this weekend. And so, or like a business class. And so we're leaving at 3 a.m. tomorrow to go to Salt Lake. I was there till 10:30 last night. I have a bunch of stuff I got to do today. And then I got to go finish the plumbing on this other bathroom for this other guy. And so I still haven't gotten it all the way out, but I am subbing things. But then there's pieces that I can't hold up the process on too. So it's a journey. It's like a transition. But right now I have one house on the market that we finished. I have 2 houses we're renovating, and we're buying another one today that I have a crew that's going to pretty much do that whole house for me, besides like painting the outside. And so I couldn't do that. I couldn't get these houses done if I didn't have other people helping. So you have to, or you can't progress.
Flavio says, no, she has a lot to share. That's what he's trying to say. Not that you
I know what you meant.
Josh Burdick does say, I think steadily is smart to work with investors from groups like ORAT. I think these investors are better operators, while slumlord landlords typically aren't active in groups like ORAT. Yeah,
For sure.
Paul Rings, hey, morning, man. He says, I agree with Emily. When I stop posting on social media, I'm usually more busy. Grind mode.
Yeah, I know I need to post, and it's for me also, that's part of my income for my YouTube, my not my real estate YouTube channel, but my construction one. That's my income. So I have to remember, if I pour into this, I can make money off of this, but then I get really busy and I don't post as much, and it's hard because just to find that balance when you're scrambled. Like last night, I was like, I'm going to make a whole video of how to plumb this. And then I thought, I don't have time to move a camera, start a camera, get my mic on, take my mic off. Nope, we're not doing that today.
Brady Morgan says, for real, I always get active on YouTube in the winter when work is a little slower, but summer I'm hardly ever home. This is the time of year I usually slow down on content. Hey, Craig Parsons, I've never seen you here before. Thanks for stopping by. Check out Emily's channel. She has 2 channels. I'll put them in the chat. But he says, it is so hard to give up control. I struggle daily. So, on that point, do you think it's giving up control is the hard part? Or, and they're similar, but like, let's say you go to, like you said, someone did the renovation for you or work for you, and it's not the way you would have done it, or like, so what is harder? Is it giving up the control or having things maybe done slightly different, I guess, than what you may do it, or the outcome may be slightly different?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Like yeah, yeah, but you can't, because I'll look at things and I told my husband when I first was like, okay, I'm going to hire more things out to do this. If I look at the first bathroom I ever did by myself, because I had been doing it with the help of a mentor, it was horrendous. I mean, it's still in one of our rentals that cash flows $200 a month. That's pretty close to being paid off, that makes good money for us. And it's the worst tile job because I had no idea what I was doing. And so I told Dallas, like, nothing's going to be worse than that bathroom. And that bathroom's making us money. And again, like, if it's waterproofed right, as far as, is it exactly how you would have done it, or when you laid it out this way or whatever, it just doesn't matter, as long as like the safety's good. We have smoke detector, those things matter, right? And then you check. So like when I start to release the control, I'm still stopping by each of my projects every day or every other day. So if I have a crew on it, I'm going to go look, I'm going to make sure, hey, we have a big discussion about, I want it this way. Here's how we're doing it. You can't just set someone on it and then not show up for a month and come back and be surprised. So I think everybody is going to do things differently, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong. And I also remembered, like, I look at the new construction and I look at the renovations and I go, okay, if this is being done in a $500,000 house, which is expensive here, the same way, and like the things I do are stupid. If I am renovating a bathroom, I'm going to miter my corners instead of using Schluter on the edges. Why are you mitering your corners in a starter home? It is not worth the time and the labor, right? And so it's not wrong. It's just different. And that's also what's going to make it faster and more cost effective. And so it's just like, you're not winning at the end of the day having the most bonita like that bathroom is beautiful, right? It looks nice, it's stylish, it's good new materials. And so you also have to, you gotta chill. I just gotta chill, man. That's where I struggle. Gotta chill the F out.
Yasik says, congratulations on letting go. Easy $1 over hard $2.
Yes.
Brady, yes. Brady says, steadily sounds like a great company. I'll have to get a quote from them on my next policy. Yep. So steadily, and another company similar, like Emily said, you came across was Obi. Obi is another one that offers the same type of solutions.
Like, I think maybe they have OB under National Investors Insurance Group. It's like NEIG or something. They got back with me pretty quick too.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I did a live stream with Dion and the Lumberjack yesterday, since Zuber is on a trip. He's at the Jason Hartman event this weekend. He's going to be speaking there. But we did some content for his channel. So it was kind of a rental or real estate versus stocks kind of debate. And as we all know, both of them are primarily real estate. But Dion is always willing to take the other side and try to rile Matt up, and I think he did a great job of doing that. But Alex says we should do an episode where we talk about the rude comments. Yeah, I think Emily would do great at that. I'm sure. Do you still get quite a bit, you think, rude comments on your DIY channel?
It's not as bad as it used to be. Every once in a while, you just kind of get someone offloading. But you know what's I found is really funny is, for a while, I would have somebody leave really rude comments, but they kept coming back. So they were watching my channel. It wasn't like one day there were a bunch of rude comments. It was over a period of months. They kept leaving really rude comments. I'm like, yeah, but you still watch? Like, are you subscribed? Because you keep coming back to all my videos. So if you're watching them and you're leaving comments, I don't care.
Where was it? Shoots. Oh, Flavio says, that's why I noticed that it wasn't done right, that bathroom, because Emily didn't do it.
It's fine.
James Hillis, who was asking about the Vegas event. Yes, the tickets are not on sale yet. I think he usually puts them on sale like ending of August, early September. So he'll announce it, and you can pick up the tickets. If people haven't heard, Henry Washington and Scott Trench and Coach Carson are supposed to speak this year. So that is on tap. It could always change because he doesn't pay anyone. So things could change. But as of now, those are the people that are supposed to be speaking. Some of the people
speaking. The lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. So Coach Carson was a year one presenter. It's hard for him to make it there in February, I believe, because that's when it's around the time of Coach Carson's own event that he does. So he hasn't been to the last two, but I think now because it's in January, plus it's going to be kind of a teenage focused one. I think his kids are around that age, so he also wants them to attend. So I think he's going to be speaking. So that should be super cool. But yeah, James Hillis says, I have a hard time trusting other people's waterproofing. And you kind of mentioned that a little bit too.
You test and check. So I see people all the time who I'm on a bunch of tiling pages on Facebook and tiling communities, and people will post and their job's halfway done. And they'll say, I hired a contractor. This doesn't look right. What should I do? Why are you letting it get that far and look that bad? I mean, there's a point where you see things that are alarming and you go, stop. This is not the person to do my job. And I'll see these posts and it's like their tile's really bad or the underlayment's really bad. And you can tell like from day one, that didn't look right from what's visible. And so when you're learning, and this is where I'm learning, because I am not an organized person, and I'll do a floor plan for something and I'll figure it out as I do it. And sometimes I'll do a permit and I'll have to resubmit and change it. When you're hiring people, you can't do that. So I am having to become much more organized and get better direction so that I can hire people, because they can't read your mind. I can't expect them to read my mind. So we have a really clear plan. I'm asking, what materials are you using? What are you doing on the corners? What are you doing on the internal corners, on the external corners? And then I'm going and checking at each each layer of the way. And so that's as a good general contractor, or if you're overseeing your projects, you have to learn what you want. So you have that conversation up front. Because I've had some people say, I'm going to use this product, and I'll say, I don't want that product used. I want this product used. And I understand that then my materials are going to be more, but I don't trust this product. I trust this product. And then just checking on the project every single day.
Brady says, I have to look at my first tile job every time I take a shower. I want to redo it so bad. 12 by 24 tiles can be tough for a beginner.
You know what? First, 24 by 48.
Craig says he's found me through Emily. So thank you, Emily. I think Craig is coming from your channel, but Craig says, for some reason, I try to explain explicitly what I need done, and it's not done correct. For example, I tell an electrician that I'm going to add shear to a wall, so the boxes need to stick out further. Sure enough, they don't stick out far enough.
Yeah. So I mean, anytime this is the thing I've learned. Anytime I think someone's going to make the right decision, or I'll be like, I used to be like, oh, they're an electrician, they'll pick the best layout. And then I see it and I'm like, nope, I need to say, I want this here, here, and here. So I'm either making, sometimes you can't make a mark, especially that, because you want it to stick out. But what I do is I have a message to them with, like, I meet with them, we go over it. I have a message following up, hey, this is what we're doing. And then a note somewhere, like a picture or a note or a list on the job site that says, this is what I want. One thing I learned with electrical is thinking, I want the switch here, but they feel like it should be here. Guess what? Now we put it on the wall with a marker so they know where I want it. And so just being really, really clear, again, as a GC of your project, you can never assume that somebody's going to think the way you do. And every time I go, oh, do what you think is best, I'm pissed with what they did, because what they think is best and what I think is best are not the same thing. And so then I can't be mad, so you just have to, I literally would say, I want this to stick out a 1/2 inch, or I want this to stick out a 1/4 inch. And then there's also a note on the wall reminding them when they get there, or if they send one of their guys and they didn't give them that message, there's a note here on top of the conversation we had.
Ike Hobbs says, I want to see Matt the Lumberjack debate Nick Lead Prejado from Bitcoin. Yes, so I appreciate Nick stopping by the live stream yesterday and putting his comments in the chat, but definitely it riled Matt up. Lumberjack definitely was taking his shots at Nick and Bitcoin. But yeah, maybe we'll be able to put that together. That definitely, they are both two individuals not afraid of sharing their thoughts. Definitely. Yasik says, I try to use the 80-20 rule as much as I can in anything I do, or anything I do makes the decision. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely, what do you want to say? You want to say something?
I always talk more.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if 80-20, I might be more like 65-35 or something, but but definitely, you got to just to a certain point, right? Enough information and then make the decision. And then you might have to slightly pivot a little bit, but enough information. I think that's the key there. What would you say? Are you like a maybe 80-20 or 90-10, or where would you be as far as how much information you think you might need?
Oh, to make a decision? Or are we talking about what we worry about if it's perfect or not?
I'm going to make a decision. That's where my 65-35 came into play.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when you're talking about buying something, or like we've talked about this, and I literally will look at it and I'll be like, okay, I go, okay, sewer line might be trashed, 10 grand. My electric's 15 to 20. My roof's, 10 to 15, depending on the type of the roof. I can do that. I literally will find like a scrap piece of paper or like an envelope and just write it on the back. And then if the numbers sort of make sense, then I buy it. Like, we're real rudimentary over here.
Yeah, well, let's see. I'm going to bring up another clip, and it kind of maybe relates to this 80-20 rule, decision making. I think how a lot of people are using AI to help with their decisions and all these things you're coming up with. But let me play this one real fast.
I think that adaptability is the single most important human trait. I think it was Charles Darwin that said it's not the strongest of the species nor the most intelligent that survives. It's the one most adaptable to change. And anyone that tells you they know what 10 years from now looks like is lying. So how do you know what skills to study, what things to prepare for, what classes are going to matter? 10 years ago, everyone thought the factory workers were going to be the first people that lost all their jobs. And, oh, you should go into coding. Coders are the first ones that lost all their jobs. You cannot count on some predictions to say what the future is going to look like. What you need to do is build a set of skills that you believe are going to continue to matter, whether it's the ability to interact, sales, storytelling, distillation of ideas, and then be adaptable. Learn to solve problems. If you can solve problems, solve puzzles that are out there in front of you, you will find a way to win.
Thoughts on that?
You ever watch, I think we all have, Challenge, Road Rules, Survivor, Fear Factor, any of these shows where people have to do a challenge in time and they start to panic? Like, I've seen it a million times where it's just they have to get out of a box, get a key, try all the keys, and then one open. I think that was how Fear Factor ended this year. And they're like, you know, like if they would just slowly do it, they would probably win. They don't have to be the fastest, but they start panicking and they start dropping it and they start, you know, the ability to stay calm and problem solve when things don't go your way. I know people that are so smart but the minute that things don't go according to plan in their life, in their business, they have this breakdown and they cry and they can't handle it and they can't deal with adversity and they just crumble. And so truly just the ability to know that it's never, ever, ever going to go the way you think it is, and to stay calm and pivot that's always going to be the people that win and move forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's like you said, I mean, I didn't really think about it, but yeah, like you're talking about like Survivor and a lot of these reality shows, sometimes these game shows. But yeah, I mean, you know, you see some of the contestants, right? They're, you know, maybe they're on paper, they seem like they should win or they're very intelligent, but they're the ones that struggle the most a lot of times. And a lot of times, just like you're saying, or even like to that clip, it's about being able to communicate and relate to other people and navigating all these different personalities that are on, you know, in this competition together. Let me see. We'll get back to this a little bit, but Flavio, this was a great. I didn't really. What's your thoughts on this? Flavio does say waterproof didn't exist before, and bathrooms were fine.
So one of my favorite quotes is, "There's no such thing as almost waterproof." I always tell Dallas I want him to print me a t-shirt. There's no such thing as almost waterproof. There is a way we can do it now. We have so many amazing materials, and I'm always going to use them and really waterproof well. However, yes, Flavio, I have torn out so many bathrooms that I am renovating a house right now. Actually, the one I'm plumbing that I have a guy coming to do both bathrooms this weekend is tile directly onto drywall, nothing on the corners, no waterproofing. And there's like a little bit down at the bottom, but this house is like 25, 50 years old. And there's no catastrophic water. Now, there are houses where there are mold, so I don't know why in some cases it doesn't, in some cases it does. But yeah, when I started doing bathrooms and when I learned, we were using concrete board and we were tiling over the concrete board, but we weren't even sealing the corners. We weren't even sealing the joints. We weren't even, you know, and then it was like, okay, mesh tape the joints and put thin set over it. And then people are like, thin set's not waterproof. Let's put a liquid applied over it. And then you have the Schluter. So now because we have those products, I will use them, but I have demoed a lot of bathrooms with no waterproofing, and there's like a little couple black spots in the corner, but not a lot. So yeah, I'm going to do it right now because we have it, but it's funny the industry they've made. And then back then they're like, we're just going to put this tile on this plaster and it's going to last for 80 years. You're mute.
Am I muted?
There you go. You're good now.
Oh, and then I think part of that too, and kind of going to that clip and you know, we're talking about AI and coding a little bit, and even though the waterproofing, but I think it's, you know, people just get so caught up with these, not trends, I want to say, but things that become available to them. So now I see so many people trying to use AI or create this system that's going to help with their daily routine. And I think AI is going to be super important and helpful, but it's like unless you're trying to make like a product, I think to sell, or that's your vision of it, I feel like someone is already working on like a product, like a bigger company that's going to use the AI to come out with a product that all you have to do now is just input your, and it's going to be done for you. Whereas I see everyone is trying to make their own system, and by the time they get that set up, it's going to be already outdated, or there's going to be something newer, and they're going to constantly be trying to chase the next AI thing that's available. And so I just feel like, kind of going back to comfort, and I just feel like people are staying busy and not getting out of their comfort zone to pursue I guess the more important thing. I don't want to say that it's not important, but like I said, the thing that's going to move the ball closer to the goal line, right?
And are we losing our critical thinking skills by creating systems for everything? You see all these places where when the system is down, they can't operate. They can't do anything by shorthand anymore or calculate anything. And so I just worry over time, how much of our skill sets are we losing and our kids losing because everything is done for, when you're a kid and they're like, hey, you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket. And we do now, but it's still, I'll never forget. So when I was in high school, I was in AP calculus. And so this is a hard math class. We're doing difficult stuff. And you get so used, you have that real expensive calculator. It was like $94 back then that you had to have for class, that graphing calculator. And you always had it sitting by you. And I remember I was doing my homework one time and I reached over and it was like 3 plus 3. And I just typed it in my calculator because it was there, right? I know 3 plus 3 is 6, but it's such a habit. Well, at what point do we lose the basic math or anything basic critical thinking because we're relying on something else? And I think that's scary generationally.
Yeah. ICOB says giving up control and know what standards to enforce are super hard for me. But James Hillis says, Emily, do you drink decaf?
Do you think I do? I don't drink coffee. I hate coffee.
Do you drink any caffeine products?
Oh, I love me some Red Bull. Ooh.
All right.
Make
Like the regular, the regular Red Bull, or
no,
they have like all different flavors now?
Pure Red Bull. No, they have flavors, but a pure Red Bull, you put it in your freezer you get the small one because then you can have more than one a day if you need to. You put it in your freezer for an hour, so it's like a slushy, and you drink that frothy goodness, and it is the most amazing thing. Oh, an original Red Bull. That's my only I don't drink, I don't smoke. I've never drank or smoked. You know what? I love Red Bull.
Josh Burdick says Emily isn't a regular Tyler. She's a outstanding one. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think the thing you need to know is what's worth putting into a house, right? Because one thing I'm realizing is sometimes an enclosure, you can do an enclosure like a surround in 2 hours. Tile, you got to prep, you got to tile, you got to grout, you got to seal. And then are you doing basic or are you putting a niche in? And for your return, Dallas told me one time, he's like, I feel bad for you when you do a bathroom this beautiful and then you get $1,500 a month for this house. And he was like pitying me. And so I over improve big time. So you got to find a limit.
Yeah. Lumberjack thinks too myopic about Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, definitely he has his opinions. He's very easy to get riled up about it, definitely. So, but I think it would be entertaining, definitely, if Nick and Lumberjack were on. We'll see if we can put that one together. Brady Morgan says slow is smooth is fast. Yep. Yasik says waterproofing works till it doesn't. Ike Hobbs says no coffee, really, Emily?
Yeah. Gross.
Really? I was never a coffee drinker. I don't know why I started drinking. I mean, a lot of the guys in the firehouse drink coffee, but I don't know why I really started. Maybe, I think because I used to drink energy drinks a lot. So I think I was trying to get off of that. And then somehow coffee kind of became the thing. But
tea is like a good loose leaf tea, a good quality tea.
Tea? I
You
don't know
like
about
tea?
that. No, I don't like tea.
We love tea.
Shoot, was there one more? Oh, I'll play this clip too then and see what you're, because this is Flavio's guy right here, King Kong. So we'll play this one. Flavio likes him.
People talk about like passion, follow your passion. I don't know, man. For me, it's always been like follow the money. If I can make money and if I end up enjoy doing it, great. If not, if I don't make money and I enjoy it, dude, I ain't gonna do it. Let's go get this money!
And I've said this before too. It's like, for me anyways, I don't necessarily like flipping houses. I've been doing it for 10 years now, but I'm not in it. I like making money from it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the result of it, but I'm personally not going to close deals anymore. I'm not going to jump on the phone with sellers. That ain't what I'm trying to do. So I think it's just picking the things you like to do in a profitable business. But here's the other part. So if you decide to do something else and it kills the profitable business, well, that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Do you have the ability to put someone in charge of this and it will still function and make the same or slightly less? And in a perfect world, you put somebody in there and it makes more. Like, that's the perfect world. But, if you're a guy who wants to go do other stuff, a good outcome would be you put a guy in there and it makes the same. And you may be even tolerating if it makes less, but it's still doing what you want.
Yep. See, Flavio says, I love that guy. And I was telling Emily before we went live, King Kong, me personally, I probably didn't care for his social media content too much, but after I saw him, after Michael Zuber interviewed him on his channel, I really liked what he was presenting. And you can tell that definitely he puts on a persona for social media on his clips and everything. But if you have a long form content, I think definitely you really get to see a different side of him, and that was super interesting. But what do you think about it's Khan, but he goes King Kong. I think that's kind of how he pronounces it. Yeah.
So
He's
it's
a big
King Khan, Khan.
Yeah.
Oh, I found him.
Yeah. So he's big on social media, but
No,
definitely
I found someone different. Sorry. Is it King Khan? No, MJ Khan?
No. If any, Flavio probably had.
Will you send me something later?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely. What do you think about that? Like, as far as like, a lot of people talk about following their passion, and even towards the end they start talking about giving up a little control for benefits. But what's your thoughts on that clip?
I think that one thing that I've learned is you got to have fun. And I've told you this, I am having fun. When you're like, what's the end goal? Well, I just am going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm having fun, even if I don't have to. Or I also think we're providing a lot of value, because people will say, oh, these investors are buying all these houses. Well, I'm buying houses you can't get loans on for the most part. And so I am making homes for people. And do you know how many people get a hold of me that want a nice rental and I don't have them available? So whether I sell you something that literally would not have been financeable for you before, and I give you a beautiful home, and I am restoring something that would be derelict in a neighborhood, or I am giving a beautiful rental to somebody that's not in a position to be able to buy or ready or want to buy yet, what we're doing is a service, and it's important for our communities. But I'm having fun. I enjoy what I'm doing. And I think there's a point to follow your passion if you can make a living off of it. But sometimes people are like, I just want to live my dreams, and they're not supporting their families. You also have to be able to be a responsible member of society. So with social media, you can mostly find a way to monetize anything now. But you can't just be like, I just don't want to do anything because I don't want to, right? Like, so if you can find a way to monetize it, great. But you got to pay your bills.
Or you got to get a catchphrase like everyone is saying is Moni, like how he likes to say it, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, yeah, definitely go, if you can find his long form content on Zuber's channel, definitely go check that one out. It's definitely a good episode, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I think I was telling Emily how he was talking. He basically grew up in poverty. He was poor. Maybe Vietnam, I want to say where he was. But anyways, talking about with him and their girlfriend going out to eat at restaurants, and I think she wanted to order like 2 pot stickers or whatever, and he was just like, whoa, hold up, like let's get one, kind of thing. But like, he kind of promised her, like, down the road we're gonna be able to get more. And then now whenever he goes, he just orders like more than he can even eat, right? And that's how successful he's doing, and he's putting in the work. So definitely was a good episode. But yeah, I think definitely, like I said, we talked in Vegas, and it was fun hearing, kind of what your vision is. And like you said, you do seem like you love what you're doing, and you're having a lot of fun doing it. And so, I mean, I definitely want to know more about how the transition to giving up some of the control has been for you. I mean, are you able to sleep at night? Like, are you able to sleep well, knowing that other people are doing work for you?
Yeah, I think it's getting easier. And I think one thing I've done too is you try a new contractor or a new sub, and you give them a medium sized job. So for example, the house we're buying today, I have a guy who is, I mean, when I thought about buying it, I knew I had to have somebody really take this project over, because I have other projects going that I'm doing pieces and subbing pieces out. And so he did some smaller projects for me, and I was able to see what he did and what he charged, and that he stuck to the amounts and the job that he did and the timelines he had. And then I was able to see some projects he did for other people. And so that gave me the peace of mind. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, go renovate this house. I'm going to show up in 30, 60 days, right? I'm going to be checking in and having communication and making sure we're on the same page. And, and so it doesn't worry me. And the thing I told Dallas the other day too is I'm really fortunate because yes, it will slow me down, but it's not like I'm buying these houses and I'm like, oh my gosh, if this contractor bails on me, I'm screwed. I can't get it done. I know how to do all the things I'm hiring out. So unfortunately, it would slow me down. And if I had to jump in or redo something, I'm catching 1 day of work that we have to maybe tear out and redo. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. I have to find a whole new crew. So I'm not that nervous. And again, I'm not at the end of my life. If I could only finish one house a year and they're really beautiful, and that's not my goals, right? I mean, I want nice homes, but I also want to be able to do 5 to 10 houses a year or more. And so I just cannot do it on my own. And you know what's funny is sometimes you hire things out and they're better than you. So I have a guy that's been helping me with framing, and he's better at framing than I am. And I go in there and I'm like, dang, Bill's doing a nice job. Right? Bill's doing great. And so you're not always the best either. Sometimes you're surprised when someone does something and you're like, and I have to frame a piece and I'm like, wonder if Bill will come do this for me. Right. And so, no, there's people that are also really good at what they do. And sometimes we're a-holes and we think we're the best ones, and we're not necessarily, but you don't know until you give someone a chance. And sometimes you give someone a chance and then you do not use them again, or they're good at this, but not that. And it's just a transition. But no, I don't worry about it because I'm checking every day. And so I know that if we're not in communication, we're going to catch it. Or sometimes people do things and it's not exactly right, but it's also okay and it's fine, and you move forward.
All right. Yeah, Flavio says he came from zero. He used to live in a shed with his wife. Yeah. So yeah, Flavio, that's one of his favorite content creators, real estate investors, maybe. But yeah, everyone, go, if you haven't, go subscribe to one of these 2 YouTube channels. And yeah, we'll wrap things. This is a fun one. I think it's always fun catching up with you. I love the topic today. I'm glad I'm able to figure out how to show clips of this now a little bit. I've always, it's just, yeah. You know what the problem was too, was that I couldn't figure out how to download certain clips from Instagram, because some don't have the download on it. Like if you want to share it, it gives you the download option. But I think some people, their profile, they might put it where you can't download it. I don't know. But someone told me you just go to the remix.
Oh,
And then you can save it without
okay.
even, yeah. So it's almost like you're editing it with your own thing, and you can just save. So you don't have to, you can just go to the remix and then save it. And then so now, yeah, so that's where I've been getting all these clips from. So yeah, if you want to talk about any, send them to me. It's always fun catching up with you. Yeah, maybe we'll dig through the comment sections and see if there's any you want to push back on. But final thoughts. And this was something that, like I said, that 3 Amigo videos with Zuber, Dion, and Lumberjack. At the end, Dion made this comment that Zuber just was like, oh shit, where'd you come up with that? And we should make a shirt for it. But Dion basically said, your investing needs to be boring so that your life can be exciting. Any thoughts on that?
I think that we're seeing a lot of people right now, some of the gurus, some of the people that were doing some crazy stuff that works for a moment in time. But we have the tried and true things that are always going to work. They're not going to make you a bunch real fast, maybe, but they're going to be the long, steady, long game things. And so, just like we had, right, Airbnb, a lot of people made a lot of money in Airbnb for a while, but now it's a little harder. You have to have a different strategy. Sub2, all these weird things, crowdfunding for buying apartments and all that type of stuff. And now we're seeing where that's not working, or those things are not working the same. But the people that bought and held and just did the steady thing, it's working, and it's still working. It wasn't flashy. You didn't become a millionaire in a year, but you for sure will in the long term. And so, yeah, I think that's smart. I think people do the cool, crazy, attention seeking things, and one person wins, and then some people get in too late and everybody else loses. And I'm not saying those things don't work, but there are tried and true things that we know will work if you can buy and hold on long enough. And so I think that's right. Not that the other things don't work, but there is some things we know will always work.
Yep. So Gus says, nice way to look at it. Craig Parsons, thanks for stopping by. He says, amen, Emily. And final thing, we'll wrap it up with this then. Josh Burdick is asking, Emily, does Emily have trouble with rabbits on her properties? Wyoming is full of rabbits. Last time I drove across Wyoming, they were all over the highway.
I mean, we have some little bunnies and they don't cause us any harm. So there's a lot of prairie dogs which I'm not in a rural area, but I have a vacant lot behind my house. We have prairie dogs live under my porch, whatever. They were here first. I have deer in my backyard and my front yard. You have to, when you plant new trees, you got to put things around them because deer and stuff will come and eat them. And so you want to protect the bark and but like they were here I don't care. Like this is their land.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this one last question from Harrison, because I know Emily has to go make that money. It might be trademarked. That might be trademarked, but hopefully we don't get in trouble. But he just says, do you have a favorite brand type of sink you use for kitchens?
Nope. I like a stainless steel sink, design wise, I prefer an undermount, because you think of your own house. If you're sweeping the crumbs or whatever, if you have an undermount, you can just put it in the sink. If you have an overmount, which is cheaper, what you're going to use, if you have like laminate or something like that, you can't go over the curb. So no, I like a single basin because it's cheaper to plumb, because you don't have two coming together. It's easier, and it's one set of pipes that you're dealing with as far as maintenance and plumbing and stuff like that. I also, just for my personal use, prefer a single basin. I feel like stainless is going to be your most resilient. I feel like you go to porcelain or any of those granite composites and they don't clean up the same way. So I usually go single basin, stainless steel, one basin, one garbage disposal, which some investors will argue against, but people are going to put stuff down it anyway. So you might as well have it, and then straight back. So that's what I like. But brand, no, I don't care. Farm style, if you're doing a flip, maybe. But if you're doing just a cost-effective rental, you're going to have a different cabinet setup. And as far as how you cut those counters, it's going to be more labor intensive. And then you got to trim around the edges of the apron sink. So for your flip, it makes sense. But for a rental, I don't think you're going to rent more for a farmhouse style sink. So that's where I wouldn't do it.
All right. Thank you, Emily. Everyone out there, if you haven't had a chance to go check it out, check out the replay of my live stream yesterday with Dion and the Lumberjack. It is probably one of the more fun live streams you'll be able to watch. It was very entertaining. So go check it out. Thank you, Emily. And I'll see everyone tomorrow with the weekly Bitcoin wrap up. Thanks, everyone.